Merry Christmas, everyone. I'm sure all of you, just like us, you're hyped as hell for the NBA games today. I mean, forget spending time with your family and friends. It's all about basketball on Christmas.
Yeah, screw that. We got Lakers versus Celtics, Warriors, Nuggets, Mavs, Suns to end the night, among some other big-time matchups. But none of those games is going to top the 2004 Christmas Day game, Lakers versus Heat, Shaq returning to the building he built, facing Kobe for the first time as opponents.
Before we start talking about Shaq and Kobe, if you haven't already, make sure you leave this video a like, give us a subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on one of our videos. So of course, gotta give a little bit of background. Shaq and Kobe, obviously one of the greatest duos in NBA history. They won 3 straight NBA championships from 2000 to 2002. That being said, they always kind of hated each other, even dating back to Kobe's rookie year in 1996.
Yeah, and to be honest, I think for valid reasons on both sides, Kobe was frustrated because Shaq always kind of showed up. I mean, for lack of a better word, just straight up fat.
There's a great story from back in the day at Lakers training camp where Kobe's really ready to start working out and go after it, and Shaq turns up with a Big Mac in each hand.
Exactly. Kobe obviously in the offseason just went off, so I can see why he's frustrated there. And then from Shaq's perspective, Kobe was pretty damn selfish, especially early on. He always wanted to be the guy. He wasn't great with teammates, so I understand it from both perspectives there.
Yeah, and by the 2004 season, the tension had just boiled over. They were heavy favorites in the 2004 NBA Finals, and they got beat soundly by the Detroit Pistons. Phil Jackson wasn't brought back by the Lakers. There's some disagreement as to whether he left on his own accord or if the Lakers just opted to not renew his contract. And then in that offseason, Shaq, who had been pushing for a new contract for a while, demanded a trade after Mitch Kupchak just said he would consider trading him.
Can't really blame him. He's Shaquille O'Neal. He kind of deserves that respect. And then there was the whole Kobe was kind of flirting with other teams, the Bulls especially, and then the Clippers. That would have been disgusting, at least for Lakers fans, and honestly just for NBA history. But he ended up signing a new 7-year contract right after Shaq was traded.
Yeah, Shaq was dealt to the Eastern Conference. He was dealt to Miami. He formed a new duo with rising star Dwayne Wade, and they came out the gates just on fire. They were 22-7 heading into Christmas Day, best record in the Eastern Conference. They were riding a 10-game winning streak heading into this game. The Lakers, on the other hand, they were only 14-11. And not only had Shaq and Phil left the Lakers in the offseason, but a lot of the Lakers' key pieces from that 2004 Finals team, they'd also left. Karl Malone, Gary Payton, Derek Fisher, Rick Fox, they were all gone. And I think it's also important for a lot of people to remember that Kobe's rep in Los Angeles around this time wasn't very good. Remember, this is before he delivered 2 more NBA championships to them. He had, of course, the Eagle Colorado scandal the season prior, and he was kind of seen as the guy that ran Shaq out of LA, and Shaq was beloved in LA.
Yeah, and they went from a perennial title team, one of the best teams ever, honestly, the last team to complete a three-peat, to, for the next few years, I know the West was tough at the time, but they were really a 7th seed in a walking first-round exit.
Just a team that was treading water.
Yeah, and to be fair to Kobe, his supporting cast during this era was straight-up dog shit.
Yeah.
But, yes, I completely understand why Lakers fans would be a little bit frustrated with Kobe.
And also, Kobe didn't really try to ingratiate himself with his new supporting cast.
No, not at all.
I mean, just look up the horror stories that Smush Parker, and I know Smush Parker is not that good a player, but if you're a superstar, you gotta ingratiate yourself with your teammates a little bit. And Smush Parker has horror stories from playing with Kobe.
And also, as if we needed any more hype or trash talk or anything else to light the feud, Shaq, he was asked about this on Monday Night Football for some reason. If they met, he said Kobe would be a Corvette and Shaq would be a brick wall. Honestly, a pretty spot-on comparison, though.
A great quote.
Yeah, amazing quote.
Imagine if Twitter existed back in the day.
Oh my God. Would have been hilarious.
Someone get a Bleacher Report meme of that made ASAP. So the day itself, this was back before the NBA had kind of made Christmas their holiday. You know, the NFL's got Thanksgiving, the NBA now has Christmas. This was kind of before they doubled down on that. If you want to hear more about the NBA's history on Christmas, we actually have a full video on that, so go check that out. But the first game, and the only other game of the day was actually the rematch between the Pistons and the Pacers in their first game since the Malice at the Palace. That game went by without incident, but it's so funny that like both games had so much tension to them. One of them they planned ahead, the Lakers and the Heat. The other one was just a complete coincidence.
Yeah, I mean, that seems like a good Christmas Day matchup on face value. You have two teams that just played each other in the Eastern Conference Finals, so that's a good matchup. Then the Malice at the Palace happens, and I'm sure the NBA was like, please, just nothing. Please, like, it's Christmas Day, this is our day. We cannot have this right now.
So right before this game tipped off, Kobe and Shaq, they didn't talk to each other. They didn't chat to each other at all before the game. They did bump forearms before the game, but that was basically it in terms of socializing between these two.
Yeah, and it barely was anything. I mean, Shaq did not make any effort to make eye contact, and they just kind of bumped into each other, but better than nothing, I guess? I don't know. Maybe it was worse than nothing.
Nothing would have been funnier.
Yeah, exactly.
First quarter, literally the very first possession of the game, Kobe drives in, and Shaq just stuffs him.
I love how it just opens like that. But let's give Kobe some credit. He made an adjustment. Next possession, he comes down. It's a nice little mid-range. He kind of fades past Shaq, so he got him back there, and Kobe, he started out hot. 15 points in the first quarter, including 4 threes. I think they said on the broadcast that was the first quarter he ever hit 4 threes, so Kobe was hitting her.
Yeah, he was matched by Dwayne Wade, though. Wade had 13 points in the first quarter. D-Wade hit no threes, but he did hit 7 free throws.
Classic young D-Wade.
Young D-Wade was elite at getting to the free throw line.
And Shaq, he got off to a bit of a slow start. He only had 4 points on 2 of 5 shooting. And despite Kobe's hot start, the Lakers did trail by 1 point after the first.
We'll talk about it a little bit, but the rest of the rosters outside of the stars, let's say they're just lacking.
Hot garbage is what I'd say.
Literally the first play of the second quarter, Kobe goes right at Shaq. Shaq gives him a foul that's, it's not too hard. It's kind of just, it's a let him know you're there foul. But the best part about this is that after the foul, Shaq fucking winks.
He's always got that charisma. And from there, Shaq started to heat up. He scored 7 points, but he did shoot 1 of 5 from the free throw line. It wouldn't be complete without Shaq bricking some free throws.
Nobody's perfect, okay? Kobe also cooled right down. He scored only 5 points on 1 of 5 shooting. And just classic 2000s NBA basketball, the scoring just slowed way down in the second quarter. I mentioned it earlier, but look at these rosters. Outside of D-Wade, Shaq, Kobe, Lamar Odom, and Eddie Jones, who else on these teams are any good? I mean, Caron Butler, who was one of the Lakers' best players, was suspended for this game because he threw a punch in the Lakers' prior game against the Hornets. So outside of those guys, who else is there? I mean, Chris Mim, Chuck Yatkins doing anything for you?
Yeah, Alonzo Mourning was injured or something, so he didn't play. A young Udonis Haslem.
An old Christian Laettner.
Just two teams that had some stars and then just complete garbage outside of that.
Going into the halftime, though, the Lakers had retaken the lead 56-54. Again, the scoring was still just so damn slow. Kobe was excellent in the third. He had 13 points on 5 of 8 shooting. Everyone else on both teams was pretty damn shit. Again, there's not much to say. Like, there's a lot of mid-range shots, not a lot of scoring, not a lot of shots, period. I mean, the Lakers outscored the Heat 21-19, took a 4-point lead heading into the fourth. And then in the fourth, Kobe Bryant was awful.
He was terrible. 9 points, 1 of 6 shooting with 3 turnovers. He was saved by getting 7 free throws, and to his credit, he hit all 7 of those. And an interesting fact to note about the fourth quarter for the Lakers, they took a total of 12 shots. 1 shot a minute.
They did have a lot of free throws. They took 13 free throws in the fourth, but like you said, 12 shots? That's the pace of play we were dealing with in 2004.
And Shaq was the opposite. He started to heat up in the fourth. He scored 8 points, grabbed 5 boards. He led a little 7-0 run at one point, but he also did pick up 3 fouls. He fouled Kobe with 2:15 left in the game to foul out, and of course the foul would be on Kobe. A dumbass foul on Shaq's part.
Really stupid foul. Like, he's got his hands like bent way over. He just completely bodies him. Like,
dude's like, I'm just trying to start Christmas early. Like, let's get these presents. Let's get the meals going. I'm trying to start early.
We got a long flight back to Miami. Yeah. Can we just get out of here? Lamar Odom, though, would tie the game at 94 from the line with 90 seconds to go. And that was the last basket of regulation. Chucky Atkins, actually, I was hating on him a little bit earlier, but he hit a 3 with 44 seconds to go that would have put the Lakers up 3, but it was after the shot clock.
And the Heat had 3 shots down at the end of the game to win the game, and they missed all 3. Christian Laettner, for some reason, took a mid-range shot, and then Wade missed 2 more shots. So this game was headed to overtime. No Shaq, but we still had Kobe headed to overtime in Staples Center.
Yeah, in OT, without Shaq on the court, the Heat's offensive focus just went straight to Wade and Eddie Jones. Bulls shot 2 of 4 from the field. Eddie Jones had like 2 long twos from basically the same spot. It was like the far corner right over by the Lakers bench. Christian Laettner also added a couple of free throws. And then on the Lakers side, Amar Odom scored all 8 of the Lakers' points in overtime. He shot 3 of 3 from the field, but turnovers from the team, the Lakers had 3 overtime turnovers and Miami had 0. And then Kobe just couldn't find a shot in the fourth and then couldn't find a shot in overtime. He was 0 of 3 in overtime, didn't score a single point. He had a honestly pretty bad look to win the game at the end of overtime. I mean, it's Kobe, so any look is just okay, but he was double teamed, got a 3-pointer off, he missed it, and the Heat come into Staples Center and they win 104-102, win their 11th straight game.
You know Kobe wanted to hit that shot so damn bad.
He wanted that shot to go in more than he wanted to win the NBA championship.
He probably did. That would have been a great ending, but no, he misses it. And like you said, the Heat were just on fire at the time, and the Lakers, they were just mid.
So some final stat lines. Kobe did finish with 42 points, but it was on 12 of 30 shooting.
Yikes.
13 of 13 from the free throw line. I'll give him that, but 9 turnovers.
Yeah.
He had more turnovers than the entire Miami team.
Really?
Yep.
Yikes.
The Heat only had 7.
Yeah, Shaq, on the other hand, not an insanely great game, but just solid. 24 points, 11 rebounds. He shot well. And in the post-game press conference, he had a couple of subtle shots about Kobe, or maybe not so subtle.
These shots were about as subtle as getting a sledgehammer to your forehead.
He said no one on the team was coming in and trying to score 50 or 60. They just were worried about playing good team ball and getting the win. Wonder who he was talking about there. I don't know.
I don't know. I love how he also said, like, oh, when Kobe shot that final shot, were you worried he was going to go in? And he was just like, no, I knew it wasn't going in. My team played good defense.
Yeah, he had to have that team play good defense to save himself there.
Few more numbers. This was the highest rated NBA regular season game since 1998. It drew over 13 million viewers. And the Heat, they went on to make the Eastern Conference Finals, where they would fall to the Detroit Pistons. And then the Lakers, who were actually not that bad for most of the season. They were 24-19 right around mid-season. But at that point, Rudy Tomjanovich had to resign due to complications from bladder cancer. The Lakers went 10-29 the rest of the way, and they missed the playoffs. Really a low point for Kobe's Lakers tenure on the court.
They ended up running this one back again next year on Christmas, this time in Miami. Heat won that game again.
Yeah, not surprised.
But
I mean, the Heat team that went on to win the title.
Yeah, that makes sense. But when it was all said and done, still, Kobe ended with 5 rings. Shaq only ended with 4. So you got to give Kobe that. He didn't win these games on Christmas, but he still got more rings. So I'm giving it to Kobe overall.
Mamba comes out on top.
Yep, as he does.
That's the video, guys. What'd you think of Shaq and Kobe's first meeting on Christmas Day? I'd love to hear what you have to say in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving it a like, as it really does help us out. And while you're here, why not check out some of our other videos as well? Merry Christmas, guys, and don't forget to subscribe to Synthetic Sports.
Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.